Hello.
What is up? We are live on an eventful day, by the way, for you. Some would say. How we doing, everyone?
Semi-eventful.
A lot to get to. We're going to get started going here in a couple seconds. We're just going to let more people get in. What's up, Boomer129? How you doing? Good to see you.
Hello. Anybody else tired? Because I'm very
No
tired.
joke.
So if I have a bunch of brain farts today, please forgive me.
No forgiveness.
Well, oh well.
It's a Monday, but a lot of good news coming for Oklahoma on the portal front. We're going to let it kind of get up to about maybe 100, and then we'll kind of start going. Other than that, been just another Monday. It is crazy that Alabama just had that 5-star plus kid announce he's going to the portal. He's a true freshman, too. So he literally hasn't had any time, and he goes in saying it's a business decision, which is just...
We know what that means.
Wow, right. You definitely know what that means.
At this point, anytime a kid says it's a business decision, you know what it means.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I think I'm tired of hearing that, honestly. And it's just getting worse, but I'm so tired of hearing it's a business decision. Blah, 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 blah.
That was a voice. That is too close. Maybe hopefully that's better. Is that better?
For both of us?
You weren't too close.
Oh.
You should see yours over there.
That means I'm perfect.
There you go. Boom. No, I wouldn't either. There's a couple that would be nice to have for sure. So.
Wide receivers is what he's saying.
I know. I said wide receiver.
No.
I was talking about, but they probably can't afford them. I'm hoping we get that. We can maybe make a run at that offensive lineman that just announced he's going to go in, but I don't know if we can or if we'll have the ability to. But hopefully, it'd be pretty sweet.
But the Miami wide receiver, is that right?
Yeah, Miami wide receiver was Isaiah Horton, 6'4" guy. I don't know. It seems like he might be going to Alabama. Is what I saw someone comment. So not knowing if how good of a source that is, it seems like that might be something he looks at doing. Okay, Stacy, that's nice. Yeah, for the most part. Just kidding. All right, well, let's get started. Portal News had a big decision today. We really have been waiting for the announcement of one player, it seems, in John Mateer. Is he going to get in? Is he not? I don't know if there's been a more, I want to say just obvious he's going to be an Oklahoma player than John Mateer. I don't know. It seems like it's been something that has been in the works for a while. I don't know where else you would go if you really want to get into a university that is on the biggest stage and that really can give you the opportunity to showcase your skills on a level that can up your draft stock, like the University of Oklahoma in the SEC. Because he puts up those numbers next year, he'll be in New York for the Heisman and probably will win it. But we got that information or update, and then let's kind of look at what we saw here. This was earlier today. There was Mateer getting in the portal. Look at that. Perfectly put between our faces.
Wow.
John Mateer was put in the portal, and obviously it shows the stats there. Over 3,000 passing, 800 rushing, and 44 total touchdowns. The dude's a phenom. I've been watching a lot of his just games recently in the last couple weeks, and super athletic.
I feel like you've
way
changed
more
your
athletic
tune
than
a
I
little
thought
bit.
he.
Yeah.
Way more athletic than I thought he was.
More research.
Yeah, I mean, the guy can move. And that's almost is a necessity now in college football to have a mobile quarterback.
Right.
So,
no, he's definitely shifty. And I know when you and I were first talking about, the possibility of him coming, you mentioning worried about his shiftiness and everything. And I remember I watched some of his highlights. I was like, man, I don't know. He seems pretty shifty. Like, he seems pretty quick, but really wasn't in the mood to debate. So I didn't even really bring it up, but I was impressed. But granted, I know the level is different, but we'll see. And again, I'm still not, maybe because I like competition, I'm never pro, oh, you come here, you're a starter, period. And you got to earn your spot. So Michael Hawkins is still in our team, and if he steps up and earns a starting spot, then that's great too. So but still would love to have John on our team as well.
For sure. And then we saw, shortly after that, we saw this update. Pete Nakos predicting John Mateer to the University of Oklahoma. And I mean, would be a big get, obviously. It doesn't solve all of our problems. I hate to just lead with that because it is good news. We have some serious issues in other areas of our team, and we'll get to the NIL and kind of what my opinions are and what I've heard from people who are pretty involved in that space, and just kind of some overall just thoughts on it. But OU really ponied up for that.
A few little thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, OU ponied up for Mateer. They're going to have to. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar investment. He is able to get. His family lives in Little Elm, Texas. It's only a 2.5-hour drive from Norman. So the ability for his family to come see him play much easier than it is to get to Washington and the areas in which he plays. Yeah, it just adds to the draw for him and for his family, which I think is something that you almost can't put a price tag on that to be able to play and have your family come watch it all your games.
Right, definitely a big deal. As someone who played 5 hours from home when I went to Arkansas Tech, I mean that was far and made it harder. I mean my family was still at every game because I had a great family who supported me, but Washington would have been a little bit. They may have been watching some games on TV. Granted, basketball has a lot more games than football, so you can make it a little more doable on a Saturday, but definitely something that would be, like you said, an appeal to, you can take your car. Hopefully the gas prices go down. So you can take your car to the game. And it's a one-day trip, there and back if you needed to. But anyways.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a much better fit for him. And we'll get back to Mateer in 1 minute in our NIL talk. Just want to say on the other side, got a commitment today from Nebraska, from Stanford, the red got me. Stanford offensive tackle, played right tackle, played some left tackle too. Gabe just put out a good in the weeds on his film. It was really, really interesting. McClinko, he played in 10 games, played over 1,000 snaps, gave up 22 pressures, 4 sacks, and gives a lot of experience for our offensive line, especially with the injuries we had with Jacob Sexton, Jake Taylor, and Michael Tarquin leaving. Never hurts to have guys that add depth and also experience at the D1 level that have proven it. So going to be good to get him, let Beatonbow kind of coach him up and see how he develops in the offseason and then going into the next year.
Right. Was he the one that said there was no better place to be than with Coach Beatonbow if you want to be an O-line, or was that a different O-line commit?
The
names are starting to run together.
Yeah, that was earlier today. That was the 2026 inside offensive lineman commit we had.
Oh,
and
yes.
His name is
point
blanking
stands.
on me.
I'm sure any O-line that convinced us would agree as far as Bill's I don't like first name basis. Bill, as far as his accolades stand for him.
Mm-hmm. So we had a question: how many years does John Mateer have left? He could play. He started in 2022, set, and then played. 2024 was his first year starting. So set 2022, and then set 2023. Not really set, but back up, and then this year was his first year starting. Obviously, you see how well he did. So has a lot of ability and a lot of talent. His first 2 years he only played and he only attempted 2 passes in 2022 and 17 in 2023. But this year, obviously, you see the stats that he had and how good he really is. So he'll have at least one more year. I don't know if he gets any of an extra year or not. I mean, with the way that stuff works now, I mean, who knows? But it does seem like there is going to be at least an opportunity to have him for a minimum 1 year, which is going to be big. Oklahoma being able to pull a John Mateer, what does that mean? And how does that reflect really on how our NIL is working and how it runs? A couple things. I think that when it comes to NIL, people have to, I think, realize that it is not just the ability to pay players that is the biggest part of NIL. There's also a timing aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma right now is kind of betting on the timing game, right? They're saying that we have an allocated amount of funds. We have X amount of dollars that we can spend on NIL. And then obviously when players become available, they can reach out to boosters and they can reach out to people who might be able to afford to give more money at that moment and in large sums that can help them get more players after the availability comes out. But for what they're trying to say, what they're banking on when you kind of read the tea leaves of this whole situation is that players that are in the playoff right now, that are on really good teams, that are coming from Power 4 schools, that are probably been really well developed from good coaching staffs, that are going to enter the portal aren't in there yet. You may even have some starting receivers that enter the portal that aren't in there yet. Do you risk spending all of your money in the current state and not having that money to spend whenever they become available? Or do you say, look, I'm going to go after some guys that we think have the ability to play for OU, but maybe they're not guys that we are going to sit there and just go into an all-out battle for?
Yeah.
And say that we're going to get these guys no holds barred. It doesn't matter. We want them, and forget if there's a chance down the road for someone better. Or are you going to say that we need to prioritize, retaining the players we currently have and saving whatever extra money we get from players leaving or from just extra NIL donations for later on, whenever those players that are on playoff teams now do eventually enter the portal?
Right. And I just think that yes, there are some good, obviously these are D1 athletes, so they're good athletes. Good athletes in the portal, but I'm not maybe willing to spend it on this guy. So I'm team wait to see what opens up, who becomes available, and then risk getting into a bidding war then versus let's get into a bidding war with, someone that might have a good year or, whatever reason it might be. But that's just where I stand on that part of it. I think that, and you kind of see it. I feel like when I keep looking at the portal things, it's like slowly, quote unquote, better players keep entering. So it's just a matter of time to see, who else enters.
And it's also, people are talking about how there was this, listen, one of the biggest issue Oklahoma's had so far in the portal is not even that they haven't been able to get guys out of the portal. It's that they're having to spend money they didn't know they would have to spend on retaining players that are currently on the roster. And that was something that I don't think they realized they would have to do. They've spent, and no telling how much extra money on just retaining players. We heard about a certain situation in which the parent comes and says, if you want my player X to stay, we need this much right now. And it's
Oh,
hey, we're back.
We're back. Okay.
We should be back. That was really odd.
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
No, yeah. On the
Sorry.
Mic. There's a mic.
Now I'm like, my
Is that better?
anxiety kicked in. Spinning wheel of death.
Hold on. We should be coming back. Hopefully you're able to hear us.
Let us know when you can hear or see us. Okay. We got a yeah.
All right. Cool. We're good.
So where were we?
We're talking about having to spend money on players that we didn't think we would, on retaining just our own talent. I know that, and I know for a fact that there's a lot of our players, have been reached out by different schools that have caused them to up their ante for retainment. And I know some people were saying this deal where, look, John Mateer's not in the portal yet. Why are we talking to him? Like, why is there's this idea that he is going to, he's being contacted, and we work on. Contacted, illegally, and it's like that's the portal. If you're gonna have people tampering with your roster,
right?
You play the game how you play the game.
Also, I think you can get away with it there because his coaches, he was literally just with those coaches before they take jobs and be like, "Hey, we're going here. We'd love to have you." X, Y, and Z. So you can kind of get around that versus hearing that players or other teams are outright contacting our best players and offering them bags And so then they go to our coaches, or I guess the GM maybe even go to Curtis Lofton asking for even more money. So it's just, it's wild. And I try not to have feelings on it because us plebs in the real world, you get a 1 to 2% raise a year if you're lucky. Right. 1 to 2%, okay? And some of these kids are asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That ain't 1 to 2%. Mm-mm. And it just bothers me because you know what your team was lacking. And I'm sure these coaches are out there saying, you know, we really need this money to go towards more offensive linemen or more receivers because that's where we were lacking last year. And if we get a few more guys out there, we can potentially produce more on offense, therefore win more games and make a run at the playoff. And you would think as competitors, I'd be like, you know what, that's best for my team. I want to go out and compete for a national championship. Okay, I don't need hundreds of thousands more. But no.
Yeah.
And that is, it's just disheartening to me. And you know what? I'm opening the yearbook because this is where I'm at. In junior college, I came back for my sophomore year, and I was the only starter returning. I was a leading scorer returning. I got approached by my new coach, who literally said, can you give up your letter of intent so we can give it to another player for our team? You're already on a full ride academic scholarship, so you don't need, quote unquote, you don't need this letter of intent. Can we take it from you? You be a walk-on so we can give it to another player so we can have, you know, more talent on the team. I didn't even hesitate. I just said, of course, like, that's what's best for our team. Sure, take my letter of intent. Which by doing so, I actually no longer got refunded any money. So I lost out on about $3,000 to $4,000 being put in my pocket that I was putting towards any, you know, extra expenses or for grad school. And I wasn't already making hundreds of thousands of dollars like some of these people. So the fact that it's just me, mine, and not, you know, what's best for the team. And even then, you could get a little bit of a raise. Mm-hmm. Sure, you deserve it. You played really well. Let's go ahead and give you a little bit of a raise. But it's just like, nope, I want my hundreds of thousands. I don't really care if we get another receiver. I don't really care if we get another O-lineman. And that just really it just bothers me. And the same thing happened when I went to Arkansas Tech. I found another academic scholarship. And sorry, am I being loud? Found another academic scholarship. Therefore, went to my coaches and said, hey, I'm actually going to get this money academically. Take part of my scholarship to give to a teammate who really needs it or who's on half scholarship or whatever. And that's what they did. And that's because that was better for my team. That was better for my teammate. And I'm not out there to say I was the perfect teammate because I fell short many times. But it just truly blows my mind that as competitors and as brothers, they wouldn't want to do what is best for the team. And not saying that's all of them, but the few that we keep hearing, you know, through the rumor mill that it's happening is it's disheartening.
Yeah, and it comes down to the reason why that's even more an issue for a school like Oklahoma, who is, although they are in the top 10 of NIL, according to that report that I've tweeted out and that a lot of people have referenced. Although, look, a lot of these numbers aren't reported publicly, except, you know, some collectives do on their tax returns but there's also money that comes in that isn't reported in those collective reports either. So it's really hard to know how much a team has. So what Oklahoma is dealing with is 6 other SEC teams are ahead of them in NIL funding, just based on that one report. So Oklahoma is great. There's not another team in the Big 12, by the way, that's in the top 25. Now, OU and Texas would have been 2 that were, but you know that's just to show you how much deeper the SEC is right now in terms of battling for a lot of these kids that the SEC is, you know, as opposed to a different conference. On top of that, I caught some flack for, you know, mentioning, like, just throwing an idea out there about fans, you know, $1 a month, $5 a month. And I get without any sort of regulation how hard that can be because you don't know where your money's going. But at the end of the day, you're still in that boat. Giving Texas $7.5 million more a year and $75 million over 10 years. It is hard to compete with that kind of funding when you're that far behind in the money game. And I mean, I don't expect it to be like this for 10 years. I highly doubt it is. But I don't know why it would be, you know, like this right here. I don't know, and I wish that there would be a way that we could contact, and I have some people that are familiar with the NIL world, so I can mention it to them. But this is my idea. Like, it's like, I get that people don't want to pay for just 1 year rentals, but listen, what if NIL means that that's all you do now? That's how it works for the top players. They are 1 year rentals from now in memoriam. From now, I mean, if that's the reality of the world, we can sit there and talk about how much we hate it, but we're going to be getting beat every week while we talk about how much we hate NIL. And at some point, there's just a realistic approach we have to take to these things that says, look, I hate how it is right now, but you can buy players legally, can just buy players. And at that point, money becomes most important. I love recruiting in-state talent. I think it's even more important in the NIL era because they want to play for the university, and they will give you those NIL breaks.
Right.
But when you're competing with a team that, for example, say a suite at Oklahoma costs, I don't know, $100,000, for example. That same suite at Texas would cost $900,000. And I have some numbers, but I'm not going to use them because I don't want to single people out. But that is almost spot on, close to what the difference is in terms of just to pay for a suite. And that's not even including the tickets, including that all the other food and beverages stuff that come with those
or to
tickets.
be on the waiting list.
Just and the waiting list. I mean, you have to pay hundreds of thousands just to have a chance to buy the suite when they become available at a university like Tech. So the funding is so different, and I really don't think a lot of people, and it's not a drag on anybody. Like, I didn't know about a lot of it, but I really don't think it is understood how much more some of these universities have,
right.
and it's not the end all be all. You still have to develop and be good. And Oklahoma's not some poor podunk school. I'm just talking about if you want to win championships.
I mean,
and
clearly we're not.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah,
we're Oklahoma, so we also want to be competitive with who's ever the highest competitor. Mm-hmm. So to me, and I'm not saying, average Joes, like everyone in this chat, apparently, I'm not, some of you might be sneaky millionaires, and I hope you're donating a ton of money to OU.
You can donate to us if you want to. No, I'm just kidding.
But like most average Joes,
Our
like
NIL,
Chad and I guess you would say, like, we're not gonna be able to make up that deficit by ourselves. They're not gonna be calling us saying, hey, can you give us $300,000? Maybe. I hope one day, God willing, that'd be
cool.
That'd be pretty cool. But what we can do is we can pay, whatever, I was going to say whatever, not we, but, average Joes can pay anything. You can pay $1. Mm-hmm. Who cares? It's $1. You can pay $5. Again, who cares? It's $5. If you can pay $50, pay $50, $100, pay $100. And all of that can add up and actually make a difference if they could just find a way to allow that to happen, mm-hmm. to allow us plebs to also help. And, if we would just all take out second and third mortgages. No, if you cannot pay your bills, if you are living paycheck to paycheck, we ain't talking to you. Okay.
Unless you think you can handle it. I'm just, that's a joke. That's a joke.
No, like, don't, there's more to life than football. So, okay. I mean, obviously don't be taking food.
Okay, Ingrid. See, this is what we deal with. Okay. So we can compete.
She's a Texas fan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I listen, I'll play the what is it? The chords, I can't think.
Organ?
Organ, yeah. I almost said the accordion. I thought 4 different instruments at that time. I'll play the organ. I mean, pass the plate. All I was saying, imagine you get 100,000 OU fans to donate $1 a month.
Right.
That's 1.2 million extra a year in NIL that you would get, and it's $1. But again, if they don't let it, and it might not even be possible because of how much it costs to just the service fees to have all those things. But that's just an idea, and like those kind of different ideas. We have to find ways to, as a state really, and as fans, to make up the difference in that.
Right.
And there's only so many ways we can do that. We don't have, I wish Elon Musk was an OU fan. If I was Elon Musk, I mean, my goodness. Tesla would be half the size because half of the money would be at OU right now. But still,
there would be no SpaceX.
There would be there would be a space and then it would just be a slash because half the X would be missing because that half money would be at OU.
Okay.
So
Elon, shoot, at the end, in the third, fourth quarter of a game, throw up a QR code. People have been drinking all day. They might be a little generous with a couple hundred.
People made fun of it. Remember people mocked Oklahoma State for that?
Yeah, but that was the QR code on the helmet, right?
Yeah, but
they were going to show it up on the screen for specific players.
And here's the thing. Okay, if it's money in their pocket, it's money in their pocket. You think players won't go there if they know they're going to get paid if they do well directly from the fans? Money. It's about making money. What Jerry Jones is great at, as horrible as he is at everything else in life, well, I'm sure he's a good father. Not on that. In sports related, is he knows how to raise money. It's why the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in the entire sporting world. of any team, of any franchise, any sport, anything in the world. Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable franchise of all of them because Jerry Jones knows how to raise money and how to
Right.
how to get deals that benefit or make money for the program or
Right.
for his team. We have to figure out different ways of doing that for Oklahoma.
I
That
mean,
was my
and
whole
we're
point.
working on it. I mean, we have like the items of the game
Yeah.
where you can go buy whatever item of the game it is, and that proceed goes to the NIL. But yeah, statewide car
I'm not
washes,
above any of it. I'm not above any of it.
Bake Off.
Bake Off. I'm all for it. You ain't
I'll
gonna-
make some cookies.
Listen, you can't. If it makes sense, it makes sense. You know, that's a bar.
Money is money.
That's a bar. I forgot
Money
how
is
to say it
money.
first. Money's money, and you can't be prideful about how we have to find different ways. We don't have the amount of we don't have just the sheer number of alumni, much less the wealthy alumni other universities do.
celebrities.
Or celebrities, yeah, to come out. And so, I mean, we could sit here and say, look, I'm not going to do this until there's regulation. And yeah, there will be. I know someone asked earlier.
Also, it seems like the same people who complain about why we aren't spending money on players
Yeah,
aren't donating anything.
yeah. I
Like-
swear, I've seen that comment 4 times. It's oh, we got outbid again. OU's bum. OU's, and that same person is, I'm not donating to a team where I don't know if their
Right.
player's going to stay. And I'm like, then you're just
There's no
winning
way.
it all. You're in a catch-22 that you created yourself, and you're trying to win it somehow.
Right.
And you can't. Do we think
But-
there's going to be an? Yes, I do. 100%. 100%. For a couple
Oh,
reasons. Go ahead, T.
I would think just because, well, I'd say Title IX at some point is going to
Well,
come into effect, but no, you're going to have to. It's got to happen. Unfortunately, though, it's probably going to go to the government, who will find a way to ruin it completely or to make it even, they'll just somehow make it worse.
And what's crazy is it really could be fixed in its fairly easy way, I think, because if you would just put a salary cap and then a window in which you can actually get in the portal, it would help the coaches and it would help people know. And this is what I would do. Like if I was running Oklahoma's NIL, what I would love to do is, and I would be interested in how this would actually work, because maybe I'm overlooking something, but I don't think so. I would just be transparent as heck. I'd be like, yeah, look, we lost this Virgil receiver because we had to save $300,000 that he got additionally offered at this school to pay for this defensive player who asked for a raise. Here's how many people could have donated at $2 a month, and we could have had not only him, not only the defensive player, but 2 other guys in the portal that went for this much. Because then I think fans would be like, oh, cool, well, at least we know what we're spending the money on.
Right, drop
now.
a link,
Drop
drop the cash app.
I swear I would do it. The problem is, and you're going to get made fun of by other schools. You're going to get made fun of by. Here's the thing: at the end of the day, they all would do it because it would work. Because people get competitive when they know that you cannot. No.
Don't tell them.
Although I'm not. No, I'm kidding. Because people get competitive about that stuff, and if you see how much just small donations would increase. I mean, we pay for all these
Netflix.
well, in the downtown
Disney
plan, it's all just penny taxes,
Downtown,
you know?
yeah.
Like, all that adds up quickly. And I think if fans knew what was, how they were missing things or how much they missed it by and how quickly that could be made up, they would be so motivated to just give a couple dollars a month or
Right.
whatever.
No, for sure. And I'm with it because if there's a way for average Joes to
Yeah.
make money, if you say, shoot, 100 fans donate $100, like something like that. I mean, that would obviously probably would never be enough for somebody, but you never know. I don't know. There's going to be some regulations. One thing that I think Mr. Downs, Ethan Downs' father mentioned it. There needs to be like graduation incentives. Because I was telling Chad, some of these kids are on their 4th school in 4 years, their 3rd school in 3 years. They're just constantly moving around, and not all credits transfer. I'd like to know where they are in their degree, which is truly what's important, because likely a lot of these guys, to me, if you're moving around that many schools, you're probably not going to the NFL. Because your development's going to be off. You're not that guy where you're at, and you're just bouncing around trying to be that guy. And so you're going to need a degree, and you're just, money chasing or whatever. Or maybe, hopefully, you're getting your money, making great investments, and you can live on that somehow for the rest of your life. If you're smart like that with financials, then great. But,
Yeah.
there are graduation incentives, or, it's a 4-year system. You get this much this year, this much this year, this much this year, this much this year. But should you transfer, you go back to year 1. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. There's lots of people, lots of ideas.
Well, and I'm meant to say the reason it'll be, I think two big reasons it'll be regulated. One is coaches, especially at even the universities where they have a lot of the most money, say at Texas A&M or one of those schools, it's become impossible for them to have any sort of any sort of way to predict even who is on they're going to be on their roster that next year. And for them, they retain their jobs based on success as coaches. And whenever you're having to re-up every single year and not know, how to really, it's hard to kind of go out in the recruiting trail and get guys that are going to supplement and actually be productive later on. The second reason I think you're really going to see like regulation, look at the bowl games. Those sponsors that want to be the named sponsor of a bowl, they pay a lot of money to be the named sponsor. When you got teams like Marshall that went 10-3 that have to drop out because 29 guys entered the portal, and that then is less eyeballs on their bowl because a team that's not Marshall, that was not as good, or maybe it might have a record, was not, didn't really earn it, but is being asked to play in it.
No offense, like, Marshall, but it's not the big name, Blue Bloods, whatever.
Yeah, but Blue so now they're getting they're not getting Marshall, they're getting a team that wasn't even in the bowl game to begin with, that's less eyes on the bowl, that's less advertising dollars in their pocket. Eventually these bowl games bowl sponsors are going to become angry and they're going to stop giving money, which is why I hate that, the playoff will expand and it'll keep expanding because they need money. The the college football playoff, the NCAA, these teams need money. And the less relevant bowl games get, the more relevant the CFP gets. That is going to have to level out. And the only way it levels out is if you make bowl games all important in a way in which you make it part of the playoffs somehow. So they're just going to keep expanding it because it's the only way that it can all these bowls can still be maintained and kept, in my opinion.
Also, I just think schools are going to be losing sports, and not just sports that are smaller. And we all know the sports I'm talking about. I'm not going to outright just diss some sports, but the smaller sports that don't get eyes, that don't make money, you're going to be missing some sports that you genuinely enjoy. A lot of schools are going to be losing softball. That has grown in the past years. Baseball, if you're not that good, sorry, bye. You're going to be losing some men and women's basketball programs could potentially go if they're not good teams and aren't making money. It's just going to be the reality, and it's just a mess. And I think everybody can agree it's not sustainable. Whether you're pro, I don't think anybody's pro NIL with how it is right now because you see it as just so wild. But I think all of us are pro. You should be able to make money if you're selling your autograph, if you're selling jerseys and T-shirts, if you're making appearances. What it was supposed to be, everybody can agree with. Like, you want to be in a commercial, you want to do some modeling, you want to have like the influencer type thing. Perfect. Nobody has an issue with that. It's just become so much more than it is. But we're on a different topic. Should we talk about who entered the portal for OU?
Well, that list would take. There's more people in the portal for OU than there is.
Sure, I just didn't know if we wanted to touch on anybody.
Hold on. There's. I'm not done talking about this yet, and I got to actually probably about 10 more minutes on it because I'm so fired up about how they're. So it's not that like Ingrid had a funny post about not doing, like they weren't doing a good job. There's also issues with how it runs because people don't give their gifts on a different month. So it's hard to say we're going to have this much money coming in next year because those dollars don't always transfer year to year. Like some people give a lot of money one month and then it doesn't transfer to the next month when that month comes around, and it creates it creates just an impossible situation from an organization part, which was why I was excited for that AT&T former CEO to come because he was really good at fundraising. Didn't always make the best investments, but that you win some, you lose some in business.
Right. And
he is very good at organizing, how to disperse those dollars. And here's the last thing I'll say, and then I'm sorry, I know we need to move on to the next point, but what is going to really make people upset at Oklahoma, and I know this is likely going to happen, is if there is an exemption, if they do the Title IX, the antitrust exemption is given, and they don't have to worry about Title IX in that regard, and you can do just straight revenue dollars, and because that's not an educational benefit, or something that directly ties to an educational benefit, and there's definitions in Title IX in which it applies and which it doesn't. There's an argument that it doesn't, but they're going to have to cut programs because the money you spend on rowing, I need 2 more tackles, I need 2 or 3 more defensive players, I need that money. The money you spend on soccer, sorry, we need that money. Money you spend on tennis, golf. I'm a golfer. I played golf at OU for a year. I mean, I love that unit. I love it. But I'm sorry, if at the end of the day it's about making money, OU football or Oklahoma athletics made $49 million in 2023 on ticket sales. 94% of that was from football and OU men's basketball. The other 3% was from OU women's softball, and the rest of that was made up by every other sport at Oklahoma. So I think they might keep gymnastics simply because of the number of Olympians that come from that program. That might be enough to just keep it. But you're going to start seeing Oklahoma cut sports, and then it's going to be everyone's going to be throwing a fit about how are you cutting these sports? It's not their fault they don't play for a team that made it because we've relegated
Which we
it
agree.
Yeah, which it's not their fault. It's not. I mean, like I said, I love golf. I think, by the way, Hibble's Hall of Famer. He's the best. He's awesome. But there are just realities to the situation that are going to be hard to deal with whenever they come around to needing to be dealt with. And so that is where I think a lot of people just, if we don't start increasing our own ability or widening the net, as they say,
right,
of getting money in, you're going to see those things come up, and it's going to come up quick. And a lot of people are just going to be, I don't think, caught for that or understood why that's happening. Why don't they do what Tennessee did an increase ticket prices? So here's another issue with that. So I had that idea too, but remember, I'm talking way too much, by the way. I'm sorry. I had so next year, if the settlement's approved, next year they have to give up to $22 million of their athletic revenue directly, or of their revenue directly to the athletic programs. So say you had made $100 million this year, right? So they made $198 million in 2023. They made $295,000 profit. Say you make that same $100 million, right? Well, that $20 million of that is now going directly to the athletic program, no matter who it goes to, no matter what sport are in it. Now, X amount of that is going to go to Oklahoma, just the football team. So now you're having to make up $20 million of revenue that the university had, or that the program had, that now they don't have, because it's just going back to the football program. So you're going from 100 to 80 right off of that, or 78 technically. So that money isn't there anymore, which it took me a while to understand it, because I thought we were spending that anyways. And so the revenue share of that portion has to be made up.
Yeah.
So now even if you do the 10% increase, that's just going to go back to making the $20 million that you just lost in the settlement. That won't even go back to NIL until after you hit that high mark, which is just frustrating. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to be ironed out with the settlement, a ton, but that is just one other just fact to kind of keep in your mind as you're looking at how Oklahoma's going to navigate, not only Oklahoma, but every other team as well. Yeah. I think our camera's crooked, by the way. There we go. I think that's better. It looks like we're tipping, but we're not. Why don't they do it? But yeah, other than that, I mean, if they could, I would like it. Wish I could figure it out. All right, we need to go to players in the portal that left Oklahoma. Lead it off, T.
Angel Anthony
left Oklahoma.
Left Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
Feeling better than ever. I quoted. We can all agree. Frustrating to see. Now, I also can play devil's advocate. He has to make himself marketable to other teams. And I understand that. And I get that, he's been injured the last season and a half. It's just poor to me. I think and it wasn't, I think it was a lot of OU fans saw that and were like, whoa, what do you mean? We needed you 2 weeks ago. What do you mean? I think it was just poor wording on his part. I think a good way to put it would have been ready to get back on the field, working hard every day to get back out there, ready to play again, play the game I love. I think there's other words he could have used that weren't so controversial, weren't so fishy, because everybody had wondered all year, where is this kid? Because we saw how amazing he was for the first third of the season in 2023. So years. 2023, we wanted to see him back, and we wanted to see him back in an OU jersey. So all this year we're wondering, what's going on. He doesn't play. And you know what? We don't know his circumstance. We don't know if he was cut for
processing.
We don't know if he wants to go, just find a new school. We don't know if, needing a fresh start. We really don't know why he left. Maybe somebody does here. We don't know. We can speculate. It's just the wording behind it.
Also,
that was
sus,
poor choice.
Also, we don't know if we saw it in Forrest Gump. He was fine until he had a reason to run, and then the knee braces just flew off. Maybe that, maybe that happened there.
Right.
In all honesty, we don't know. I mean, we're not, and it's no personal cast, nothing against him. It's just, I think that there's a realistic issue, and I don't even know, to be honest with you, And again, at just a base level, if I disagree, because again, if you're worried about money and that is what you're trying to get more of, then do you risk going out if you have dealing with an injury and you think that you might get injured again? Do you risk going out there and re-injuring yourself? I mean, maybe if that's your only consideration, you don't.
If that's the sport you're playing, otherwise I would say take up golf.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how you're going to go out there and not have that kind of risk. It's in there for now. I get like a bowl game, like if it's not
right.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that.
He wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one.
I think most.
He did. I wasn't the only one he replied to though, so that was kind of cool. Struck a nerve.
Why me?
But and I do wish. I really do wish all of them the best.
Right.
Like they're at the end of the day, it's crazy to think they're kids. Like he's like 10 years younger than me. That's
no, he's
wild.
a legal adult.
Yeah, he's an adult. But still, I mean,
Kids,
they're trying to
no,
trying to live their dream. I get that, and I don't wish anything bad on them. I just want to make that clear. But yeah, it was
right.
A
it was
wild
just
deal.
a wild thing, and I think a lot of OU fans agree on that. But wherever he goes, if he's healthy and he's ready to go, he's going to be good. We saw it, and we hated losing him. Losing him last year was huge.
Yeah.
So very talented. Wish we could have had him this year. We didn't for whatever reason. We're not going to have him going forward for whatever reason. I hope he really is feeling better.
Yeah, I don't there's no hate. I know that Eugene Brooks, offensive lineman, a really talented guy, got in the portal today. I think whenever he saw, because he played a lot of right tackle, I think whenever he saw the commitment from the Stanford player, again, I've always blank on his, I want to say Balake, like the Key and Peele.
Balake.
Baklenko, sorry. That
Sorry, that's funny.
It is, yeah. Baklenko. I think that might have been a thing where you're going into your sophomore year. Do you want to maybe be third on the depth chart? I think he had the talent to be out there, with any of them. But that's a decision he made. I don't think it kills
also
Oklahoma.
Not in practice.
Yeah, also, yeah, so. True. And it doesn't kill Oklahoma. You wish you could keep those kind of guys because of the talent he had. I remember he went to the Under Armour game and was just the guy. I remember hearing reading reports on him about how good he was, and he is. I mean, and I again wish him the best and hope that everything works out.
He finds his team.
Yeah, and I do think that there's going to have to be a real look at, and I think at how Oklahoma's handled the portal session or their portal strategy this session because as you're getting down to 105 roster spots, I think in the end we're gonna say they did a really good job. Because I think we're going to see the people that they didn't keep, or maybe that left that did sting a little bit, like a Deshaun McCullough if he doesn't end up somewhere else, that those guys weren't, they weren't the dam breaking for Oklahoma, right? I think that
they
kept.
You were about to say, sorry.
I think they kept the guys that they really had to. And look, I've had people message about the all what really went on, and I don't know if that's true or not. It's just again one side, and so I'm not going to really repeat a lot. But there have been teams reach out to players that were very good for Oklahoma that have offered, hundreds of thousands more, and they've ended up staying or agreeing to stay for the Oklahoma because of the relationships and what we spotted before. Jane Jackson's been hit hard by a lot of teams from what we've read on Twitter and on articles, and also just had people say to us. But he was a guy that Oklahoma really pushed for. And actually, when they recruited, we're saying that he's a guy that we see starting day one for Oklahoma, and he started every game for him. And for him, I got to think that means a lot to him that they were the ones that spotted his talent, his ability, and really made him a priority, along with David Stone, obviously.
Yeah, which is, you love that there's still loyalty to people who believed in you first. And I hope I'm not speaking prematurely and jinxing it, but
yeah,
the era of the NIL is kind of hard to see, but. You hope that is one that we get to keep for another couple years. Farouk.
Jalil Farouk. Headed to the portal. I heard Maryland might be a school to look for. Again, that was a dollars thing. And
and here's my thing with Jalil Farouk. He stuck with us when he didn't have to. He could have left in the exodus of 2021 or 2021. He could have left.
Yeah, I think it was 2022. But
2022.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he has he stuck with OU. To me, his commitment, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And if he needs a fresh start, go for it. You know, I like Farouk. I really do. I liked him as a Sooner. Definitely saw that he was crazy talented. But 7 touchdowns in 3 seasons, I think, can be replaced. And I hate saying that. I feel like Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms, if anybody watches that, we're like, everyone's replaceable. To an extent, I don't always feel that way. But I do feel that way here. But I did enjoy having him as a Sooner. I'm going to miss saying Farouk in a game. And I think maybe it helps because after really not having him this year, I feel like that made it a little bit easier. Because had he played this year, and well, I guess he would have been out of eligibility had he played this year. Well,
and BV made a good point that I thought was prescient when he said that, you know, look, we thought those guys, even if they played, would be gone this coming up year. So we've been preparing for it.
Yeah, and maybe, again, I guess that's where my head is at, where I was expecting him to be gone. If he wants to go get a fresh start somewhere or whatever, I feel like he's been loyal to us for a long time. It's kind of like when Russell Westbrook left Oklahoma. It's kind of like, oh, okay, like, you've been loyal to us, like, go do your thing, you know?
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about Farouk.
Someone asked a question I wanted to just get it, a.k.a. the Chad. Well, my name's Chad, so it's nice to meet you, third gen Sooner. Sorry, joined late. Do you think there will be a movement to associate NIL money to time-based contracts? In other words, either transfer or accept NIL money, but you can't do both. Yes, I do. That will be, I'm sure, a high priority for any settlement or regulation or legislation to come down the pike. There has to be, because it's going to start affecting, maybe, I could see donation dollars, because people are going to think, you know, this money's coming in for a kid to sign, get their NIL, and then leave. And some of that, I don't know. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of NIL in terms of payment, what you can do. A lot of that's just kept under wraps by the collectives, but some of it might be month-to-month payments.
Which, again, goes back to, like, transparency would probably go a long way.
Yeah, I would.
Honestly.
Well, and it might have to go a long way whenever they finally get it all worked out. Like, you know what players are making. You know what all the signing bonuses are. You know how long their contracts are for.
For NFL?
For NFL, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, I was talking about NFL. My mind went there. For NFL, and if they're trying to move to a model that more resembles that, I think it's fair. Now, they are also, you know, they're unionized. They have a players association. So that would all change on the back end, but
somehow more angry with NIL.
But then it's like we've talked about. At the end of the day, it's here. So
who else? In the portal, Brennan Thompson committed to Mississippi State.
Yes,
is that right?
Mississippi State, going back to see Lebby, who he was with 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There you go. Who else you got?
Good luck to him. Super fast.
And I think a guy that really unfairly was, he can, and he was kind of put in a bad spot for his skill set, because whenever we got so beat up at the receiver position, you had to have someone that had some experience be out there and maybe do things that he normally, or in a perfect offense for him, wouldn't have to do.
Right.
Because he's more of a guy that can just run past everyone and
go deep and he catches it and get you far.
For sure.
Thank you. I was trying to think of the way I wanted to put that. Like, I don't want to say we misused him, because I don't think we misused him. I just think what he's good at, we just couldn't utilize given our situation, which is perfectly how you said it. Phil Picotti. Phil Picotti. Is that how you would say it? Injuries, going to the portal. Good luck.
Mr. Picotti. We got a punter too, by the way. Going to be a good one.
You know, and here's my thing. OU fans wanted to make fun of it, that was our first signee. Do you not realize how important Luke was?
Yeah. Luke Alzinga. I mean,
dude's got a leg. Ice in his veins.
Talk about yeoman's work.
And so, I mean, but then here's the thing. Having a good punter is
my seat's like
he's not used to having to sit in the tiny chairs like I do. Having a good punter is essential, especially when you can flip the field and you can put your defense that was really good in a better spot than what they could have been in. So I was really happy we got a punter. I don't know. We needed to replace him, and we replaced him. So now, obviously, everybody wants, nice. Sorry, I'm distracted.
I think that someone commented Jaren Canick's Twitter.
But
no, it's not it.
I also get mad because with our fan base, I feel like you literally can't win, because it was like, oh my gosh, why aren't we not signing? Why haven't we gotten one portal commit yet? We get a portal commit. It's a punter. Ah, well, it's a punter. Blah, 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 blah. Why aren't we offering any guys? Why aren't we getting commits? Oh, we start offering getting commit, or we start offering. Oh, well, they're not from a Power 5. Okay. Well, now we get a commit that's from a Power 5, but, well, now they're a 3-star. Like, oh my gosh. Just be happy for something.
I know. People just
and my thing
complain.
is, like, I don't really care about stars. I really don't. Because Sam Bradford was a 3-star. Right? Did I mess that up? No. Anyways, I really don't care about stars because in my experience, I feel like almost it's never added up to where it's never added up on the collegiate level. It's like the LSAT with law school or the other tests that you need to get into grad school. Like they don't actually predict your success in college or like for that degree. But Eli Bowen did fantastic, but he was 4. But to me, like, wasn't his brother higher?
Yeah.
No offense. Peyton Bowen's great too, but like, you would have thought how Eli just performed that he would have been. But like, it just blows my mind. And, you know, I say to critics, I'm a sunshine pumper. To sunshine pumpers, I'm a critic. I'm just realistic. And I'm just waiting. And I'm happy with everything we get because if our coaches see that as somebody they need as a tool, then I'm all for it. And at the end of the day, I cheer for who is wearing the crimson and creed, regardless how many stars they had in high school, regardless what school they came from. I mean, we probably wouldn't bat an eye to JUCO guy, but we do for everybody else. But not the point. Whoa. I'm
the same way. There's a part of me that like I get why people laugh at a punter, and I think it's just because people don't realize how important they are. But there is value in having that, and also I hate the condescension of. When we say great signing, people act like we don't understand that we need receivers or other positions. But it's almost a mock on themselves and not understand the value of a punter, which I have to explain. Just seems like it's like ignorance that borders its own form of miracle. It's so indescribably ignorant. But moving on, and I guess I'm not too passionate about it, but it just I don't know. I get upset at every time a player commits somewhere else. It's Oklahoma's not doing this. Again, we talked about it earlier. I think OU is. I think they really do believe in a lot of the talent they currently have, and B, I think they're timing out the portal a little bit. They want to save as much as they can for whenever these players that are currently in the playoff, whenever they finally get in the portal post-playoff run.
Right.
A lot of them.
It's budgeting. You're not going to spend creme brulee money on Little Debbie's when you could just wait for the creme brulee to get there to drop the money on that.
Yeah, and
I like food.
We haven't mentioned yet, but Deion Burke's coming back, and when you keep a guy like that saves you from only getting almost 2 guys in the portal. Like he's a legit NFL talent,
right?
Day 1, day 2 kind of guy.
That made me so happy. I know we all saw that video, and
by the way, people saying it's staged. I don't know if you know what cuts are in a video, but it clearly goes from him saying "I'm going" to BB saying "I'm returning" to BB saying "Good luck." It cuts and it says "Good luck to you." I guarantee you they just had the NFL draft conversation. And BB at the end of that is saying, well, good luck to you, love you, man, or whatever. And it cuts to him finishing that. And he goes, oh, coach, I got one more thing. I'm not leaving yet. People are like, oh, well, it's staged. It's like,
also, like, I mean, if you mean that it was staged in the sense that there was a camera during that conversation, well, duh. But also, it's pretty easy to be like, hey, coach, I want to have it recorded of me talking to you and thanking you and all of that before I announce going to the NFL. Is it okay if, I do it? And he's like, yeah, sure, of course. Because in the age of social media, that's just what we do now. We record everything. And so, yeah, clearly. But to me, if BB's that good of an actor when he said, by the way, I'm staying, I'm changing my number to 4. If BB's that good of an actor of excitement, like, hats off to him. That is awesome. Emmett Jones, the way all the reactions to me were just so genuine that it was hard for that to be, that you would have known what was going to happen. Does that make sense? And even again, like Boomer129 says in the chat, who cares if it was?
Yeah.
Why? It's just the negative Nellies.
Yeah.
Why do you got to be negative Nelly? There was green flags flying. There's excitement flying. Just be happy that we got a dude coming back. An absolute dude. That also put his body on the line, which we've already talked about. Put his body on the line in the game that really didn't even matter when he came back from Mizzou. So he will have my respect forever and always. Can't wait to see him back out there. Did he agree?
Side note, all-time high viewers for us. Good job, T. We rock.
That was
It's hard. We're too close. First, well, I just wanted to say, Mateer can squat 600 pounds. I could too. You would just have to span it over the course of maybe 10 days and just break up that weight into chunks of, I don't know, whatever that would be, 60 pounds a day.
I was wondering what you were trying to
So,
say.
I don't know if he thinks that's something to be impressed with, but, that is insane, though. 600 pounds. If you took that off the rack, it would be like a Cartoon Network episode, like scene. I would go straight through the floor. Now, listen, tall drink of water. I'm 6'5", so,
6'4.5".
6'4.5". Like we're 7 years old again. I'm 5'3.5".
I'm exactly 5'3".
I'm also joking. I hope people can hear the like joking tone of that. I always have this problem of assuming everyone that's online just knows who I am and my personality, which is not true, which T has reminded me of multiple times. And
Yes.
I've learned that it doesn't always
Translate.
come off like I want it to. So I'm joking. I cannot lift 6.
Although his name is Chad.
Not typically one.
He's not usually the typical one. If he is, I will 100% call him out on it, as y'all see. And y'all see the side eye. So, do we have a count, by the way? Anybody been counting the number of side eyes? I feel like it hasn't been too deep this episode.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
You got like one.
No, I'm not-
maybe
yeah.
two from the last things you said.
Do want to point out, PLS 2530, my dad, coach, as we call him, squatted 615 in college, and he was 6'2". Played at NEO A&M with Scott Case, who ended up playing for the Atlanta. He played it for Oklahoma, actually, and then for the Atlanta Falcons.
Is that the football that you lost or destroyed as a child?
Which one?
You got a signed football by a bunch of
Got a sign.
NFL
So me and my brother, because we're committed to the game, we're playing tackle football when we were, I don't know, yay little guys. Brother broke my hip. He hit me. He was Urlacher. I was, trying to hit him with a move. Didn't work. Snapped my hip. I'm in a cast that's like connected between. So I, for 6 months, I get a signed ball by the entire Pittsburgh Steelers team. No idea where that ball is.
He's
I mean,
obviously
no
really
idea
good
where the
at
ball
keeping track of things.
I mean, I think it's like what's the place in Halloween Town where all the lost things go? It's there. That I forget the guy's name, but you know where all the socks are?
Gord's house, something like that.
Yeah.
I watch it
Now
every
it's gonna be
Halloween.
my
I
head. I
should
shouldn't do
know.
that. But yeah, that's it. Is Chad the opposite of Karen, or is it Kevin?
You don't want to be a Chad or a Karen in
Yeah.
like social media world.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Yes, but I feel like it almost makes us truly appreciate the Danny Stutzmans, Billy Bowmans, Ethan Downs. Of the
Danny's
world.
took a big NIL pay cut to stay, by the way. That's just
Well, of course,
yeah.
and then gave his money to walk-ons.
Yep.
So it makes you appreciate those players and their parents and their upbringings and their morals and their integrity so much more. And whether or not they play football for many more years, at the end of the day, they're going to be great citizens in they're going to be great in life. And that's all you can want from those guys.
How much do you blame the training staff after many lost? So I will just say on this, we heard Nick Anderson and that whole party side of it. There's been another podcast done by Gabe and them that have told the other side. I think the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Especially I'm just so skeptical because of just my profession of hearing allegations, because it's why when I hear people even in the news or whenever, they just read a complaint, and people take that as gospel. That's just a complaint. You can state whatever you want in a complaint. Later on, that'll be proven false or true. But all they're doing is laying out the elements and trying to state it in a way that would meet the requirements of a pleading. But
also, you can't comment because it would be a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, and so there's
only so much you could talk about.
And I just want to shout out Barry and Mac, the Barry Mac show. Damian Mackey had a great. He had also a take on it that I thought was pretty good. It's down the middle, and he spoke about it too. So I would say go listen to those. They know a lot more. They have firsthand knowledge of dealing with that, all of those, the staff and all of that. So I just think they would have a better opinion on it. I don't know enough to have one really. I just know what each side has said, and I think probably somewhere in the middle. But yeah, trying to embrace my Chadness. I do too. And by the way, people say it's hard to live, this way or that way. Spend a day in our shoes right here. First off, a strong beard. Me and this guy are very similar, as you can tell. Very similar. We have just a strong beard, great glasses. And, I embrace mine too. I think that it's important that everyone is. But, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a la the movie. You guys should rename it. There we go. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
We're not nearly as cool as they were.
they're actors that pretend to be people on a daily basis. I think we're pretty cool.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I think we're pretty.
I don't
We
think
can do that.
cool's ever been a word I've used to describe myself, but
I thought she was going to say me.
digress.
I
Or
would have. My
you
heart
either,
would have
for
never
sure.
recovered. Really, I'm cool, dude. I'm so cool.
I feel like you were cool when I married you and I
Gord's
saw what a
messy.
nerd you are.
Gord. Thank you. Golly, I was saying Gort, and I was like, no, that's too close to Dort. Which
By
is
the
not
way,
right.
Thunder in the NBA Cup
Thunder in
tomorrow.
the NBA Cup. Beautiful. Oklahoma men's basketball playing Michigan in the Jumpman Classic
Right.
at
It's
8
a top time.
in North Carolina. They're good. By the way, weird world whenever you beat a team by 30 or 25 and you drop in the polls. AP, what are we doing? Why? How is that a thing? I just
Also,
don't
we're
get.
one of the only undefeated teams in the country remaining, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, keep winning, and you know it is what it is.
Thanks, Ryan
Women
C.
are also
Ryan
rocking
Cox.
it. I think it's the women that play Michigan.
Yes, Eighth Amendment violations.
The women play Michigan,
IIED,
and the men play Michigan.
Any ID.
And I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me.
A lot of others claim.
So great Oklahoma Michigan basketball matchups to come.
Yep.
Fantastic. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, you want to know something? You want to know something about hate? Army hates Zeno. I don't know what they have against my pocket beagle, but they don't like him.
We may want to see his history and where he comes from. Zeno was sired by Mustang Milo. Does that really sound like a name that you would trust? I mean, let's
Have you
maybe they
seen
have
how
maybe the Army
cute
knows.
Our dog is? How could you not like him?
Yeah.
Okay, so he chooses Army against Notre Dame. They get blown out. So then he chooses Tulane in their conference championship. They decide to show up and annihilate Tulane. So then he chooses Army again against Navy, and they get annihilated. Unreal, which it puts Zeno's record at 6-12. Big sad face. Big sad face.
6-12
6-12.
shouldn't be allowed in this household. That kind of record. I didn't mean that came out wrong. I think.
PETA.
And when I tell you everyone that I've told this to at the office, I have a friend who's a big on OU men's basketball. He is not even excited. We've been the first team out to the last 3 years. We started out really well last year. Still,
Debbie
didn't get in.
Downers.
But we are. I overall, before we get to Zeno Zone, I feel confident with where Oklahoma is, and especially with what they're doing on the portal, because I know that they're wanting to attack certain positions,
Men and women.
especially. What?
Wait, are we talking about football?
I said the portal.
I know. There's portal in other sports.
I know, but
We're talking about football?
Yeah,
Or basketball.
with the voice of college football.
Okay, well, we were talking about basketball.
No,
Literally,
I'm
we're
just
just
bringing
talking
it back.
about men's basketball.
How do you feel about the portal for football at the voice of college
It's-
football, Oklahoma?
Insane, as everybody feels. It's
But how do you feel about Oklahoma's strategy right now, and how do you think they're handling it overall?
I mean, I'm chilling.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I think you go all in on the guys you really want. You go halfway in on guys that you see potential in that you think could be, good for you. And then I agree with playing some. I agree with playing some of the waiting game. See who comes in after the college football playoff, and that's where. Again, if you're missing out on some of these guys, that means you have extra money to give, so you can throw a little bit extra at maybe some bigger names.
Yeah.
More stars. That sounded very Joker. More stars.
What was that? Oh, we talking about the 5-star stuff?
So I don't know. I'm fine. But again, I guess I'm also, I don't know.
I want to try to share this Jaron Canny thing's going viral, and we're going to try to internet sleuth if this is real or not. So hold on. How do I share this? I got to go exit that out. Exit that, and then let me. Because apparently, and just to be on Front Street, I haven't seen this video. I don't know what it is. So there you go.
Hope it's not.
I think it's just him saying he's with someone that's not John Mateer, yeah. Jaron Cannick's just trolling people trying to say it's John Mateer, and I'm almost positive it isn't, but I don't know. Do you want to, show real quick?
We're back on Zeno Zone?
I mean, if we just go to that, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's go
so
Zeno
Zeno
Zone.
is picking the college football playoff games, but since there was only 4 coming up, He's also picking Tulane, Florida, because why not? So
Tulane, Florida.
let's hope this time he can actually have a good week.
All right, there we go. Thank you. I didn't think it is.
I couldn't tell you anyway.
Yeah. I was acting like I really was sure what material looked like, too. That's funny.
I'm bad at, like, faces and, like, recognizing
Really
people.
good with the faces.
Solid movie.
All right, Xenozone, college football playoff, round 1.
Edition.
Let's run it.
You got it all inside of you. Feel it to be true.
Yay!
I mean, it's just the greatest thing ever. The howl at the end is unbelievable. There's hopefully has a better week. Who did you have in those games? Sadly, I think Texas wins against Clemson. I just think I still don't trust Clemson right now, especially with. I will say though, Texas has played a solid team. I guess I thought A&M would be pretty good, but I think an elite team twice, and they've elite this year, and they've lost both. So what do you think on that one?
I always want them to lose, but I think they'll win as well.
Sadly.
Sadly. Now, I will be rooting out of the petty of my heart against them. So, let's see. Let's go back to the comments so we can read because
Tennessee.
it's adding up and I don't like the little red things.
Tennessee it's a troll, go Zeno. There you go. Tennessee, Ohio State. Who do you have?
Tennessee, Ohio State.
I'm gonna make a record right here.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had Texas. You had Clemson.
No.
Okay, I was just checking. I don't know.
I mean, I'm hoping for all the
Tennessee,
jinx and
Ohio
power.
State. Who do you have? Let's go.
Ohio State.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I think they've played more consistent. Oh, nope. They lost to Michigan. I don't know. I feel like maybe they'll just come back on for vengeance. But again, just because I think they'll win, I wouldn't be rooting for them. I wouldn't be pulling for them. I feel like I'd be pulling more for Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because I just really don't like Ohio State.
By the way, bone to pick. College football playoff. It's a home field game for a reason. You play the season to have a home field advantage in your playoff game. You don't make them play Tennessee's intro video and make them have to do all their home field stuff they were supposed to do. Be better next year, Tennessee. That's what I would be telling them if I'm an Ohio State fan. You play the whole year for a home field advantage. Why am I playing your team's intro You're lucky if you get a warm shower after the game. Those might not even work. I don't play your home video. I play your entrance theme music. What? It's my home field. I played all year for home field advantage. I've got to lean way far from the mic to get that excited. But
the trains.
I'm just, what are we doing? It's unbelievable. Anyways, so I'm going to go Tennessee. So T and I disagree there. SMU, Penn State.
Penn State.
Ooh, you're going to go Penn State. Yeah, I'll go Penn State too. Penn State. And then Indiana, Notre Dame.
I feel like every time I've ever picked Notre Dame, they let me down.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's pretty good.
But also,
Dang it.
I feel like Indiana has looked sus at times. I'm going to go Notre Dame.
All right, Notre Dame. See, this is where I want to pick Indiana so that if I lose, because if
This is why I
I
don't want to do
lose
this. This is going
if I lose
cause
the Tennessee game, I'm going to need a chance to
semi-argument
come
on how-
back. I need a chance to come back to even up the score.
I don't want to do this anymore.
And I'm gonna go, but I think Notre Dame wins. I'm gonna go Notre Dame. All right, so the only game we differ on is Tennessee. You think Ohio State wins? I think Tennessee does. I think Nico Iamaleava.
Is Nico back?
Yes, he's back. I think. Was he gone?
I know he got injured at one point.
Well, I hope he's back.
Look, the season's running together in my head. If he came back or not, I just don't remember.
This is what I'm thinking, man. This is what I'm thinking. Their D-line's no joke. James Pierce Jr., probably a better athlete than me. Got to give him credit for that. Well, I'm not. He is, for sure. I don't know what. She has this crazy look like I'm saying something crazy, saying James Pierce Jr., future top 25 pick. I didn't. Well, yeah,
be
I mean.
a better athlete than you.
I'm sure he probably is, right? Sure. I don't know why that's crazy to say. You look like I just said the moon's made of cheese or something. I think it's pretty clear.
That's like saying Caitlin Clark might be a better shooter than me.
I think Ingrid. If that's right, it's going to be a terrible. Well, she probably is. Yeah, it's fair. Caitlin Clark's a pretty good basketball player. Yeah, see, Boomer gets it. I'm not. T and I. Funny enough, like one of our first times we went, we were out on a date and stuff. We were just talking about, and we've known each other forever, so. We were just talking about how, like, I was like, T, you wouldn't think, like, 2 seconds is a big deal. Like, if I'm like, hey, take this route to Walmart, you're going to get there in 2 seconds before me, you should take it. You wouldn't be all impressed with that, right? She was like, no. And I was like, so Usain Bolt faster than me. He runs this 40 and, 100-meter dash in 9.5. I could probably run it in 12 in my prime, 11 and a half. It's not like in the grand scheme, he's not that much faster than me. And she goes, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, we eat the rolls, we get our wine. I'm like, but I'm just saying, though. Like, overall, it's not like it's just unbelievably faster.
Yes, he is.
I mean,
in the world of track, that is unbelievably faster.
Sure. I'm 3 seconds. I mean, just, I sure, it's faster. But,
You're being a Chad.
He gets it. Jay Morris gets it.
Good night.
I'm just saying. But, so you have Tennessee, or you have Texas, the Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. I have Texas, Tennessee, Penn State, and Notre Dame.
I don't want to do this.
Why? You don't want to lose?
No.
Just worried you might lose?
But 2, you are unbearable when you win.
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You are unbearable.
We're just going to watch games. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a good time.
No, you're making it not fun anymore.
How is it not fun?
Because
I don't care about any
know.
of these teams. I don't care about who wins these games. I want Oregon to win it all because Dylan Gabriel, because everyone hated on him when I said he was good at Oklahoma.
He doesn't have any type of grudge holding or pride either.
Well, I'm working. All of us fall short of the glory.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's no, it'll be fun. It'll be a good time, T. We have a good time every time we compete.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Because y'all take it too far. Your side. And the men watching right now, and this has nothing to do with college football, and we apologize. We've talked about it. We'd love for you to go back and watch, like, and subscribe. We always forget to say that. Please do it. We've hit our number, and we didn't even have to, talk about it later. Great. Please like the video. Just like it to take 1 second. I used to not do it either. I was annoyed when people would ask, but it really does help. So please just like it real quick if you're on YouTube. That is so shameless. I hate that I had to go all out. It's really, and the guys will respect this in the chat as we wind down. It's really the women that take it too far.
No.
Because they do these little digs, and it's like these little things they know you're sensitive about, and they're just, they kind of go, and then you get a little agitated, and you're like, oh, well, why are you getting agitated? And you're like, I'm not. And then they bend the rules just a little bit, and then all of a sudden that thing's bending. Like I forget what the shape is called, but like the St. Louis arch, and they're like, well, we're not doing anything bad.
An arch.
No, there's an actual technical term for it, and I forget. But anyways, it's them, and then they say something that just gets under your skin a little bit. You start saying, hey, caveman DNA is coming up. Please stop. And then
No,
and
what
then
happens
that's no reason
is,
to be angry.
and I tell Chad this almost every time I see male athletes literally arguing and yelling at each other on sidelines or on the court or whatever, is men can say unhinged things to each other, not take it personally, not get in their feelings, and continue. But they want to do that to the women during game night, and we are going to take it personally. We can't just can't just water off the back, whatever the word is, or whatever the saying is. No,
water off the duck's back.
Yes, you do that to the women, so then we start getting catty, and then it's like, oh, well, why are you so mad? Well, then you gaslight us of why we're so mad because we take things differently than you do.
Look at this. See,
So
Chad is wrong. That's just
Chad is wrong.
I'm so glad someone got this. The caveman
goodness.
DNA bit, Bill Burr. It's fantastic.
So yes, and here's my thing. Chad is a terrible winner and a terrible loser.
I don't like to win. I despise losing. That's the problem. Like, winning's cool, but it's just you move on. Losing will. Oh,
Hey, also on one of our first dates, we went mini golfing. Obviously, college golfer, much better than me. I'm kicking his butt on the front end, just having the time of my life, not really thinking about it. He couldn't handle it so much.
had to turn the game on.
Bro got just serious conversations going.
Had to turn the game
Game
on.
face is on, and
Talk
he's
to you
like,
after.
yes, so serious. So
This Boomer 129 gets it. Winning's expected. It's not rewarded.
I like winning too, but
This is coming from someone who would make 98s on tests and be like, "Oh, I did terrible at it. Oh, I did terrible." It would be
expect perfection.
okay. Well,
But anyways,
by the way, it's called a catenary arch.
my parents liked to tell me as
knew
a
it had
child, I was a horrible loser. Horrible. Nobody wanted to play games with me.
Yeah, well, trust me, I see why.
Chad's still in that phase.
I
I
see
grew
why.
up.
But
Chad is still in that phase. And the thing is, I'm competitive in the sense that if you're going to rub it in my face, even jokingly that you won, it just,
I don't rub it in people's faces. When have I rubbed it in someone's face that I won?
me.
I just say, T, do you remember that game we played? Who won that the other day? And you're like, why are you asking me? And I'm like, well, I just forgot.
Right. And I never did that to him.
Just because she doesn't win a lot. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. It's a joke. Mm-hmm. It's a joke. See, don't feel great about that one. A little far. I'm joking, everybody. She does win a lot. She married me. Of course she wins a lot.
I knew that was coming. Good night. How did we get
All
here?
right. I have no idea. Thank y'all for joining us, though. In all honesty, though, I won. I'm the true winner. It is.
And see, guys, I won by saying that. I was just waiting for that to happen.
No, you think so. You think so small of me sometimes. You guys rock. Thank you all really a lot for watching the stream.
Chatting with us, because we actually
Chatting
really
with
do
us,
enjoy the chats.
It keeps everything really kind of informal, as much as we kind of want to keep it like a chat and just like
Right.
give our opinions and stuff.
We don't want to seem...
Look, we're not mainstream media over here, right?
Right.
We're
We don't want to
grassroots
seem
of the
icy.
people. Yeah,
Too
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I don't have any other
You know,
words.
Which for you just try to do your best. You try to say accurate things and then say what is opinion, and I think we do a good job of that. But it's Ingrid, don't ever
Go away.
put that in this chat.
Why'd you have to put it up?
I don't know. I honestly just saw it and clicked, but
The
side eye
audacity.
about 5 times a night.
Audacity. But anyways, yeah. Well, before you leave, make sure to like the video,
Like it.
subscribe to our channel. Oh, it's so weird.
Talk
Does
backwards.
that get easier?
No,
That's
probably
got to
not.
get easier at some point, right? Anyways,
Why not? Almost at 1600. I kind of want to wait till this thing gets. Oh, we lost 2. Never mind. We're about to be done. It's
we
going
will
the
see
other
you
way.
guys next
Monday. Yeah. Bowl game. I'll probably do the. Will I do it by myself?
Post-game?
Post game by
Maybe.
myself, probably.
Maybe. I might be going to the game
She should go to the game. She has a chance to go. You should go
if that chance stands.
if the chance stands. Yeah.
So
So.
he could be flying solo. So sorry to you guys because he might not. I can't
Oh,
reel him
thank
in
you.
from afar.
Thank
But
you.
anyways.
Hopefully, one day that'd be cool. Yep. Hey, love y'all. Have a good. Hope y'all are having a blessed holiday season so far, and we'll see you next Monday. Boomer.
Bye.
College football is even more